killer. I feel like I have the zoomies right now, so it's not a good time to either be starting or resuming a vlog because I have no idea where we left off. Really, I could just make this me sitting at my desk a sit down video because I have so much to talk about. First of all, I'm sick. Every single time I go to New York for work, I come back with some kind of cold. What happened since we last talked? I genuinely don't remember what my last clip is, so I have no idea what you're expecting from me right now. But here's my updates. I went to Disney World. I had not been to Disney since I was 10 years old in 2007, back when they still called it MGM Studios and not Hollywood Studios. Shelby vlogged the whole thing, so I was very hands off. Knowing her, it'll be posted in like a year, so you go, bestie. Right on schedule. No, but keep an eye out for that for real. I'm gonna be so excited to rewatch it because I was crying the whole time. I was just so happy to be there. We went totally on a whim. Shelby's family has like travel agent rates on stuff because her mom owns a business, and I was like stealing from the park. We made it by so cheap. After I went to Disney at 5 a.m. on a Monday, I flew to New York, which is when I got sick. I was in New York for 3 days. It was for work, so it was fine. But I did have a day off, which is not usual for me. Not a day off, a night off. So I was able to do, I went to like one of those Swedish candy shops that's trending on social media, and then I went to Kat's Delicatessen for dinner. Oh, and I went to the Glossier flagship store, which I've always wanted to do, and it was right in that area, so it was fun. New York scares me. After having been to like European cities and coming from Texas, I'm like, I'm scared, but it was good. That's my life update. I just feel like I need to get on top of my shit. Specifically, like, I keep so much stuff to journal with. I'm like, here's my eclipse glasses from when the eclipse was in Texas and my bestie Civvy came into town. Dude, I'm so behind on journaling. People ask me all the time, which that's a really influencer way of saying someone asked me once. I have gotten the question a couple of times, are you ever gonna re-upload your journaling videos? Because I did delete them. Actually, they're not deleted, they're unlisted. I took them down because the quantity of people who were pausing them and reading them and posting comments like, oh my god, I totally relate to what you said in 2016 in this journal entry. I'm like, it felt kind of stupid in hindsight that I even was like, no one's gonna care. I did edit out the pages that I definitely didn't want anyone to read and kept in anything that I was like, whatever. But that still feels like such an invasion to have that live, so I took them down. God knows it's on the internet still somewhere. But I have like, I don't even know if I've shown you this before, but my journals are all above my desk, like up here, and I've debated, and I think I'm gonna re-record some flip throughs and only do like my art ho pages. I haven't even flipped through my own journals in a while, so I kind of want to live react to it too. I think I'm gonna do 2 versions. One of them's gonna be like no talking, just aesthetic flipping, and it's edited so it's just like smooth. The other one I'll like talk through. I didn't realize until, you know, you never know what you have till it's gone. People keep being like, I used to love journaling with this in the background and this gave me so much inspiration. I also do have a reading update, so I'll come back to you in a bit. Hey y'all, happy Saturday. I recorded that last clip with the full intention to record every day this week, and I didn't. Well, the great news is, straight from the witch's mouth herself, I finished my book. I don't even want to dwell on it for too long because I spent so long reading this series just to be so fucking disappointed. The book might get 1 star. In the most respectful way, it feels like 2016 right now. It feels like I just read Restore Me and I was like, oh, so you ruined it. If I had a nickel for every time an author has ruined their own characters and series that was like my favorite, I'd have 2 nickels. My biggest complaint is this series that Sarah just finished, or I thought that this Crescent City was a trilogy. Apparently it's more. Hate that for me. Not gonna read them. It was fucking horrifying to read because I hate Bryce Quinlan. This main character, Bryce Quinlan, oh, we have beef. We have beef and she doesn't even know it. To me, she is so annoying and impulsive and not smart. All of Sarah J. Maas characters are people who think like 5 steps ahead, but for me, she just like fucks everyone over around her because she has a plan, but she doesn't talk to anyone about it, and it's just so annoying. I can't stand her. And so when she's with these other characters from this other series, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna talk spoilers. I'll put a timestamp to skip to if you don't want to hear spoilers for this series. Let's get into the details. Nesta Archeron is the best Sarah Janet Maas character ever created. I love her so much. I'm obsessed with her. I cannot wait for the next book and whatever ACOTAR perspective is coming next, just because I'm like, I want a glimpse of her. So when I found out that I was gonna glimpse her in this book, I was like, period. Yes, I think that she continued to be a very interesting character. I hated her from Bryce's perspective. And not even that, I hated that she had to be forced to hang out with Bryce, because Bryce is so annoying and conniving, derogatory, and the whole time Bryce is like, oh my god, I can't trust these fae, but we have all been reading books about them since 2015, so that's your journey, girl. That's not my journey, because I'm not here for you, I'm here for them. So the fact that she betrays them, oh my god, I hate her, I hate her, I hate it. And my number one thing going into this book, I told people this verbatim before I even started it. I said, if Nesta Archeron finds out about cell phones, I'm gonna be pissed. You're gonna hear from my lawyers, Sarah, because I do not want my church and my state mingling, okay? Technology and real world things do not belong in fantasy universes. I hate urban fantasy for that reason. Tell me why. Literally scene 1 with Nesta, she holds up Bryce's phone that they confiscated from her and goes, what's this? I'm like gonna have to sing like a child's rhyme right now just to calm myself back from that. I hated it. I hated it. And I'm trying not to let this sink too far in because literally it's ruining my favorite series. But again, this happened to me with Shatter Me, where I'm like, oh, you added stuff onto it and went back and muddled everything else and made that into bullshit. Cool. So the fact that it's now happened to both of my favorite series, I'm like, oh, so nothing is sacred. Thank you. I'll have another. I hated the way this book ended. I hate that you have to probably know what happens in this to be able to read the next one of the ACOTAR series. The fact that Bryce got Nesta to say alpha hole, whatever editor is editing Sarah needs to be fired and replaced immediately. Like, Bloomberry, you're gonna hear from me. So I'm pissed. That was not worth 900 pages. And the whole reason I read it is because I wanted to see those characters and I hated every second that they were there. Literally, I was begging for Bryce to die in this book. And when she did, I was like, call the horses, call the rodeo, we're about to celebrate. But as we all know, that does not last, so whatever. Anyway, did not like it, don't recommend it. In fact, fuck Sarah J. Maas. I really am so mad about it. In conclusion, I will be writing Nesta fanfiction just to heal everything that was just taken from me. And I'm kind of pretending that it's not canon, so. Alright, hi, welcome back, spoilers people. I had a long time to think about what I wanted to read after these books because it took me since like February. It's been like 2 months or like 3 months I've been reading this series because it takes so long. And I decided it's finally time for me to continue the Bridgerton series. Backstory, I love Bridgerton season 1. I would rewatch it on a loop if I could. It is my comfort show. I love it. I canceled my Netflix subscription to save money, so I didn't get to see season 2. And also I was on the fence about whether to read it first or to watch it first. So here we are. I don't know when season 3 comes out, but I'm gonna be doing a reading sprint to get through the first 4. This one is about Anthony and Kate. Book 3 is about Benedict, which is not the order that the show's going in, but then book 4 is about Colin and Penelope, which is what season 3 is. I loved the first book. I was not expecting the writing of them to be as gorgeous as it is. She really knows how to write amazing dialogue that feels true to that time period, but it's still easy to read and you can easily pick up on the characters' snarkiness or their tone. Like, I can't even describe it that well, but she's just so talented at writing and all of these scenes are so vivid. Like, I'm only on, what page am I on? I'm on page 64 and already have been tabbing so many scenes of this because I just love the character interactions in this, and the personalities of all the Bridgertons is so nice. I don't think I need to explain Bridgerton to anyone, but this is like an 8-book series. So this one's about the eldest son, Anthony, and he's like approaching 30, and for his whole decades of his 20s, he was just fucking around and finding out because his dad died when he was 18 and he was processing that grief. Now he's labeled by the whole town as a rake. He decides this season he wants to find a wife. The most eligible girl at this time is Edwina Sheffield, who is the sister of Kate. Kate is like, you're not marrying my sister because you're a whore, and he's like, hee. What if I marry you? I don't know how it's gonna go. They've only met once at this point, but their dialogue is already so funny and so snarky. I just missed reading good books. Like, I have not rated a book 5 stars this year. I was just realizing that when I was on Goodreads the other day. I know that Julia also delivers on steamy scenes, so I cannot wait for this to go in that direction, but even without it, the characters are just so intelligent and fun to read about. It's, oh my god, like 9:45. I've been reading off and on throughout the day. It's very windy and stormy here, so it's good reading vibes. I've just been taking it in chunks. I'm now on page 170. Still really enjoying all the banter, and the plot is thickening. Simon and Daphne were in it, so that was fun. I had something I wanted to talk about other than reviewing the book. I've noticed that when I'm reading physical books, because typically with ebooks, it's not as noticeable, I guess, but when I sit there and read them, a lot of the time I'm like needing a snack to just like mindlessly munch on. Hence, I just made myself a sandwich. And this might be a question for a therapist or a nutritionist, but does anyone else have issues like focusing on reading because you need to be doing something mindless like snacking, or do you have like a fidget toy that you can play with instead? Anyone know what I'm talking about or have any tips on what to do? Because I've been trying to just like sip on water instead of grabbing a snack, and I don't have anything in my apartment, which is what's making it a good thing and a bad thing, but I keep like getting bored with the book and getting up to find a snack, and then I don't have any food, so I'm like, is this normal? Am I oversharing? Sorry, I spoke too soon, because why did I continue the book and write like 2 pages after I last talked to you? Penelope enters the scene and is like, oh, I just lost 2 stones. I don't know what a stone is. I'm so sorry, British people. Apparently it's like 30 pounds. Huh? Where's my fat girl? Which I feel like I knew that someone told me that she loses some weight so she's not like the ugly fat girl anymore, but I'm sad. Can I ever have a nice thing? Anyway, so if you want to read the books for fat rep, that just threw a wrench, so maybe don't. I don't know, we'll see. She's not the main character. Hey y'all, if anyone wants to comment that it took me 12 hours to read the last 40 pages of this book, mind your business. But I finished. It's like 4 o'clock the next day. The first half I was really into. Loved the dialogue, I already talked about this. The second half got a little bit more melodramatic, and I feel like Kate's whole personality of like snarkiness and she doesn't need a man and everything like that really went away, and Anthony was just in a bad mood all the time, and so she would go and like obey his orders every time, which was weird. I'm really interested how the show is gonna tackle it, because I feel like it's gonna really edit out a lot of the parts that I thought were convenient plot points, or everything just fell into place too easily. So I definitely read this as like a starting point for how I think the series is gonna go. Overall, I didn't hate it. I think the first half was a lot stronger, like I said, so I'm probably gonna land on a 4 stars for it, just because I did like the characters. Again, the writing style is one of my favorites. The ending just let me down. It was so cliche and so fast. I don't know. I know I also complimented these books on only being like 350 pages. Maybe it needed to be a bit longer to unpack some of the plot points that I think just wrapped up too conveniently, but whatever. I do have to continue the series. I found out the 3rd one's on Kindle Unlimited, so I'm gonna be horizontal reading that one. But then I need to get to the 4th one, because that is actually Penelope and Colin's season. Shelby, can I phone a friend? I don't even know when season 3 comes out.
May 16th.
Oh, I thought I had a little less time. Cool. I don't know. I'll let you know when I start book 3, because I kind of want to take a break. Like, they're not bad. I'm just like, okay. And yes, I did put a million tabs in all the dialogue and all the parts that I liked, and yet I'm still sitting here saying it wasn't that great. Mind your business. So I was hoping you could help me with a segment of this vlog.
Me?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Shelby doesn't know that I'm about to do this. And you don't know that I'm about to do this because I didn't even announce that I was reading this book. I think the last time I updated this vlog is that I finished the 2nd Bridgerton book, and I was like, palette cleanser desperately needed. And I read a palette
I'm not gonna have to help with that book.
I'm dragging Shelby into this discussion. I don't know where to put the camera. Hi girls. Oh! What?
Did you see the lightning flash?
Oh, I thought you like flashed your ass crack or something.
Oh, you want me to?
I started Ice Planet Barbarians, which when I updated on Goodreads, everyone was like, oh my god, reading vlog, oh my god, dedicated reading vlog, oh my god, tell us every one of your thoughts. This does not merit or warrant whatever its own video, and I knew going into it this was not going to be 5 stars. I'm not going to enjoy this. The reason I'm forcing Shelby to participate in this segment is because this copy is from her. So I knew she would feel
embarrassing, isn't it?
I knew she would understand if I ranted about it. Hi Gordo. Let's dive in, shall we?
Let's not, actually. Let's pretend this book doesn't exist.
See, I'm not mad at it. I just think it's so stupid.
That's
like,
why I'm mad at it.
It didn't need to be traditionally published. Like, this could have stayed on Kindle.
Yeah.
It's in a genre of trashy romance. Remember in high school we used to make fun of There was like a series of dinosaur romances that were called like Taken by the Pterodactyl. And it was the most outlandish. People were posting these on Kindle as parodies kind of vibes. And this to me is in that category of not even like monster romances, because the main
I just read a sentence and I wish I hadn't.
But it's just so ridiculous. The whole premise of it is that this main character gets abducted by bad aliens.
Little green men.
Yeah,
very specifically.
They have to crash land onto some random planet that's covered in ice and has these barbaric aliens that don't know technology or what spaceships are. And the main character is volunteered to be the one to go explore and find food and water and get them in safe whatever. And instead she finds an alien and he's like, you're my mate, time to smash. Conceptually, I'm not against that. I know you are. I could have dealt with that, but the whole tone of the book is so wild because her inner monologue about everything is like, oh my god, that's freaking crazy. It's so lame the way that it's written. Half of the book they don't understand each other's languages, so he's like waking her up the first time they ever meet by eating her out, and she's like, oh my god, it's giving alien slay, like in the most
and you're like, no, it's giving alien rape.
Yeah, the way that she just brushes everything off and is so cool with it, and the way that she talks about it's so cringe. By the end of the book she's like, oh my god, my big blue alien boy. Like the way she talked to him was so crazy. I get why people would read it as like you genuinely have to just see it as someone taking themselves not seriously. I do not understand why people rate it 5 stars and they're like, this was good and steamy. This sex was so terrible.
Literally the line that I read that I was shook by was, does this make you happy? I ask, letting my breath fan over her deuce like C-word that'll get you demonetized once more. Huh?
And that's the thing, is they would be in the middle of a conversation where she's like, I have to go get help for my friends. My friends are starving and dying. And he's like, you want me right now? It was so
and she's like,
bad.
She's like, actually, yeah, they don't need food.
Yeah, literally. She's like, I gotta convince him to go up that mountain somehow. Might as well sling puss.
Shit, might as well.
I enjoyed reading it just because it was so stupid, but it was stupid. Like, why does this have physical copies? It's one of those like ditzy main characters that you cannot take seriously. So I just needed to, people were expecting this to be like a whole series where I read all of them. It's not gonna happen. I'm not gonna read the second one. I just wanted to recap this while Shelby was here so that she could
get a tag in the description.
I did bring my camera earlier because Shelby came over. We watched the Kentucky Derby and we went to the library. Library hall!
I got this book by Helena Greer.
The book that I got. I have been purposefully not letting myself go to the library because I'm trying to read all my physical books.
Can I say something?
Sure.
Thanks. My vlog. We went to the fucking library because I was like, I need to go get the Diary of a Wimpy Kid series because, spoiler alert, I want to do a video where I read all of them. And to the person who commented on Whitney's like video a couple videos ago, like where I'm talking, yeah, my Madrid vlog, where I'm like, and if you're on my vlog and you were like, you haven't posted in 2 months, bitch, listen. You're right. So, anyways, I wanna do like a dedicated reading vlog to reading all the Diary of a Wimpy Kid because I read them religiously when I was a kid, and I want to read the new ones that have come out. So I want to like do a whole vlog where I do all of them.
Like, there like 25 of them?
Yeah. We got there. I didn't pick a fucking one up. In fact, I forgot until we got like down the road, and I was like, well.
So the book that I got.
Back to the purpose of this vlog.
My vlog again. The book that I picked up is Bride by Allie Hazelwood. For all the girls who read this and were like, ew, he has a knot. You're weak.
He has a nut?
A knot. That too though. The girlies were pre-gaming Adam Driver romances. I've been pre-gaming monster porn for 2 years, so I'm ready. I know nothing about this. I did read the first sentence in the car and it was like, vampires and werewolves.
Like the plot of Twilight.
A vampire bride and an alpha werewolf form a dangerous alliance in this enthralling new paranormal romance. Now her name's Misery. This book is already giving, because tonight will be the night that I will fall for you. So at some point in my Bridgerton reading journey, this will probably be another palate cleanser.
Yeah, let me break up my Regency romance with some monster porn.
It's like the Cody Co meme of like, let's fucking go. Let's go. That's the library haul. That's the reading wrap up. I think that's the end of the vlog, honestly. Do you have any parting words? Back to you, Jan.
Gelatin, horseshoe, DVD, cup. Those are my parting words.
You're just choosing words. I was like, okay, the NYT connections. What's this gonna be?
I was looking around your house.
Okay, that's it for today's vlog. Thank you for watching. If you disagree with any of my opinions, you're wrong. See you next time!
Is that really closure vlogs?
No.
Or is that new?
It should be inferred every time, but I've never said it out loud.
It's the internet, nothing's inferred.
Okay. Bye!
Bye!